I think the question may of course be especially relevant in the context of communication in the press or in social networks. At the FNRS, for instance, we employ some 1,800 researchers. Some of them are more charismatic than others, and they are very active on social networks and are much sought after by the media. And in this context, they are encouraged to express themselves on subjects outside their field of competence. Of course, they are free to express a personal opinion, but the general public can be misled into believing that the message comes from a scientific expert in this particular area. But this question is not only relevant in the context of communication in the press or in social networks. Of course, as an expert, you can be appointed for your scientific skills as a member of an experts group set up for government, and effective advice increasingly relies on interdisciplinary expertise. And in Belgium, for example, a parliamentary commission was recently set up on decolonization with the stated aim of examining the Belgian colonial past in Congo, in Rwanda, in Burundi. It's a very hot topic in Belgium. And so they've chosen a multidisciplinary and multicultural team. This is probably justified. And among the experts finally chosen are historians specializing in colonial history, an African historian, a specialist in contemporary history, and an art historian, an activist again at Afrophobia, a researcher in political science, a doctor of philosophy and international relations, specialist in reconciliation process, a lawyer, an historian specializing in Africa and colonial culture. And so the commission has barely been set up and already seems to be in troubled waters, according to some. And in such condition, I think the serenity of the work is far from assured. And in such a context, one can imagine that it will be very difficult for the members of the commission to confine themselves strictly to the field of expertise. And yet, this is essential in terms of credibility. And so generally speaking, I think that our democracies are threatened by opinions that take precedence over knowledge. And when a scientist, an expert in one field, gives an opinion on other subjects in which he or she has no particular expertise other than an opinion, taking advantage of his or her scientific position, this becomes dangerous.